What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Wundercast, episode 11. We are here today. This is the first podcast, the first podcast that we are recording as of 2025. I know episode 10 of my channel did get out pretty much around the new year. So that was for a 2025 release, but that was recorded before then. This is the first cast of the new year. How you guys feeling?
I don't think I've talked to either of you since last year.
It's been a year, man. It's been a year.
Been a year.
Yes, it has. I'm just trying to get used to writing 2025 on my documentations. It took me so long to get used to 2024, man. I was still writing 2023 like halfway into the year. So
damn.
Yeah, it wasn't good, man. So now I gotta get prepared with this one. The only nice thing is, though, my age goes up with the year, which is kind of nice. Kind of, sort of, for 1999.
Yes, I think everyone's age goes up with the year. Yes, that's how that works.
Yeah, obviously. But I mean, like, my age is the same as the last two numbers in the year. You know, you know what I'm talking about.
Fair, I guess.
Sure.
Fair enough.
So like, I can use it as a reference, like halfway through the year. But
that's crazy that you use that as a reference. That's actually crazy.
I actually have forgotten my age here and there. Sometimes when somebody asks me right out of the blue, I have to be like, I'm wait, hang on. It's how old is my brother? And then I gotta figure it out. It's like, yes, I'm this. So yeah, I've had that.
We're getting old.
It's just some days I'm not all there, and I just like completely forget my age. So, and I'm not even that old. I'm not that old, man. I know I'm older than you guys, but I'm not that old.
You're pretty old.
I ain't that old. I mean,
he's not yet on the unk status.
My day,
he's not yet on the unk status. That's for sure.
I used to have a pet velociraptor, man. You kids don't know what you're missing these days. It's just
definitely beyond unk status. I changed my mind. Definitely beyond.
Do you remember them nays and the dabbing? You know, yes. I remember the dabbing.
Dude, I was alive as well. What?
Nah. You guys are so young.
That's not that old. Like, I hate to break it to you, Unk, but that's not that old.
Oh, wow.
Dude, feeling old over here. What can I say? But that's not what we're here to talk about.
No, it's not. We are here to talk about COD Zombies.
Black Ops 6
to be specific, yes. I know we've talked about this off the cast, but I feel like it's okay to ask this question on the cast. How many of us have played Zombies in BO6 since the start of this year, or since like Citadel first came out? How much we've been playing?
For a while, it was just me.
Like, excluding the camo grind, have we been playing?
I did go into like Citadel a few more times just to run the Easter egg just on my own time. I mean, I involved it a little bit in the camo grinding just because I would be getting headshots and all, but I did it, and then I also just recently tried directed mode to see how that handled and everything.
On Citadel, right?
They nerfed it a lot.
Yeah. Yep.
That's
so I did a stream recently where I tried out the Citadel directed mode. I'd suck at the boss fight because I don't know how to avoid his attacks, apparently. Pending, by the way, pending. So I died in the boss. But I really hate what they did in directed mode. This is the first map in Black Ops 6 where directed mode has actually like it's actually told you how to play. I hate it. You have to build the swords in the order that the game makes you build them in.
Yeah, that was what I wanted to talk about.
It is bullshit. Yeah. It's complete bullshit.
I glitched out my game.
I know you can't fix it, but if you can, please do. That is the worst thing you could have ever done for a directed mode Easter egg. Tell the player the order of the swords to build and all that. It's like
that.
Stop.
Irritating.
Stop.
Yeah, that was
it's
actually
so
one point
bad.
I wanted
It's
to bring
so
up.
bad.
I did not like that.
I don't even know how that would work on co-op.
Dude,
It
if
might
you
be
glitch
only
out one
one
of the
person can
swords-
work on a sword at a time. It's like BS. Like,
if you glitch a sword, you can't complete any of them. That's the bug I had in my
That-
game.
my
Wow.
god, I
The
have
light
heard
sword,
about that. I haven't
when
had
you
it
put
happen
the
to me
light sword in
personally.
and you
And then you
shoot it,
leave,
it
and then the
glitches
game's
it.
like, but you didn't actually take the light sword out because the
Yeah,
game's
it's
flag
still,
didn't
even when
detect
you
it.
save,
And then you're like,
it
oh,
won't.
oh,
I
you're
hated that so
game,
much.
you're disagreeing with me. I mean, I'm holding the sword right now.
I literally
but
had it. Yeah.
all right,
Yeah, you
game.
can
If
seriously
that's what
bug
you
it out.
think, then I'm tapping out. I'm tapping
Yeah,
out.
that was a loss on that one.
That was
But
yeah.
neither of you guys played it when they actually put the patch in place where zombies don't spawn as frequently in the directed modes, right?
So I did hear and see some of that. I'm glad that that's for the most part reverted.
I'm glad they did.
And I'm
yeah,
also
'cause
glad that I
was
didn't
just
experience it
annoying.
because now I don't have something personally to say, wow, this sucks. I felt this pain because I wasn't playing during that time period, so I have the benefit there.
Yeah, it was painful though. I had a save of Liberty Falls that I've been just grinding on for like camo grinding and stuff.
Okay.
And the fix that they said in their updates, in their update that they released, they said that what they were doing is extending the time between rounds that zombies would spawn. So you have to wait like almost a full minute or so before zombies start coming into the map again after finishing a previous round.
Why would they do that?
The reason they did it, and even I heard Mr. Darlick JD talk about it. He was saying that because people were exploiting the game with like the frenzy guard glitch that you could do, where you could just stand and have zombies run into you. And so, in order to deter that, what they wanted to do was extend the rounds so that it was a lot harder for you to just stand around and just XP level up as much as you want. So that's the
see.
reason why a lot of people think they added it in there. But there was another thing that was not mentioned in the notes that they ended up doing, which was the frequency of, or like how do I describe this? Like how frequent zombies come out of barriers. So when they come into the map, it takes so much longer for more zombies to come in. Like in Liberty Falls,
So like the
on round
spawn rates have
11,
been
I could just
decreased, is what you're
stand in a
saying.
corner and just keep shooting zombies without having to even move. I didn't have to move at all. In most times you have to run around the map, but they spawned in so slow that you could
I
just
got
stand where
you.
you were and just shoot them whenever they showed up on the map. And honestly, in my opinion, like when they do something like that in game, that takes away from a person learning how to actually properly do zombies. Because if you're going in directed mode to
Agreed.
learn how to play
Yeah.
zombies, you're learning how to like avoid zombies coming in at a normal pace, and you're trying to like
I mean,
feel for the flow, get a feel for the flow of
are
zombies.
you really
know.
learning how to play zombies when you're playing directed mode? I feel like
Not
directed
me,
mode
but
is more. Well, no, I'm not saying that.
it's
No.
targeted
I'm
towards them,
saying
right?
that I feel like the directed mode is not designed to teach players how to play zombies.
Oh,
I
you're
think
saying
it's
more the Easter egg.
designed
Yeah.
to teach players
Yeah, that's
how to do
true.
the Easter egg. It's not about playing the mode. Which makes
I feel
now
like that's a
that I'm
good
hearing
learning
myself with
area,
the
though.
idea out loud, now I'm thinking that might be why that they did it, to cater more towards like the slower pacing for players, the benefit of, well, this Easter egg sounds really cool. I suck at zombies. How the hell am I gonna do it? And now you have this benefit. It's like, wow, this is like, I can actually focus on the steps now. For individuals who have a tough time between steps and just surviving the
I don't
zombies,
think
which,
that was the reason
know,
behind it, though.
there's people out there, but
I
I
could see
definitely would
how it
argue
could
most
help,
of the
yeah.
zombies community is not like that. Maybe I'm
Yeah,
wrong, but
that's the thing. I never heard anybody complain about it beforehand. Like none of the videos I've seen, and I've been keeping an eye on people's opinions of the game and stuff. Nobody had an issue with it, but they complained after it was changed, which is why that was one of the things that got reverted back to what it was.
Right.
But can I just make a point how awesome it is that Treyarch actually listened and actually heard the
Yes.
community that
Yes.
they dislike this for the first time? I don't think this has ever happened.
This has never
And
happened
you,
in COD
Carful and
history.
Wistful, you gotta let
where
me know if this has ever happened.
No,
before.
it's never. It's never happened. It's never happened. So for our listeners that are a little bit behind on this, which I don't blame you because it's on the COD blog. Who looks at the COD blog? But
I'm looking at it right now.
As of Thursday, January 9th of this year, 2025, if you scroll down to zombies, there is a small little boxed paragraph at the beginning of it where they literally just outright say, "We're sorry. We want our games to be fun.
Yeah, they did.
We want speedrunners, especially, to enjoy playing the game their way." And they are literally like, I can highlight this part right here. Last Friday's changes to Big Game for Shadow Rift, the Shock Charge speedrun step for Terminus, and directed mode spawn delays after 5 looped rounds are prime examples of these of the important issues that we feel as a player base. Those changes left the game not enjoyable, not fun for how we wanted to play. Shadow Rift was nerfed because they didn't want Shadow Rift to just be able to insta-kill elites, which I can understand, right? When the game launched, anything was insta-killed from that. And then they updated it, and Abominations were not one-shot, they were half-health. And then Amalgamations were still one-shot. Then they updated it again, and Amalgamations got the same treatment that Abominations did. So now we're like, dude, what? Why? So they gave us a reason, and then we're like, you know what? We're going to give you 4 buffs. I still don't know what the buffs are, but they're giving us 4 buffs. So it's like, you know what? I don't know what they are, but I will take it. It is what it is. I mean, if you're on a high round and you're trying to take care of elite enemies anyway, you probably aren't going to be using ammo mods all the time. You're probably going to be using like a mutant injection. Or like a kill streak to take care of them. But the other stuff, like we just mentioned with the spawns, I feel like that this mostly negatively affects camo grinders. Take that as you will. Obviously, most of us now, I feel most of us probably don't care anymore because the camo grind's already done. But not everyone's caught up on that, and to each their own. But for the speedrun, so this is the part where I will step in and talk about this for just a moment. I'm gonna yap. Okay, this is.
Go ahead.
I don't know. I don't know how well you guys are entwined with the news of Black Ops 6 speedruns. If there is content out there to get you guys caught up if you like were behind on some of the stuff. I watched it too. There's a few things that I learned that I didn't fully know, but most of it I'm familiar with. So Black Ops 6 Zombies has received several patches since it's like since the launch, right? A lot of the patches at really weirdly spaced times would just patch skips, outright patch major skips in the speedruns, and would just completely demotivate the players to want to run the maps.
Oh, you're talking about like the battery duplications and stuff like that.
Right, yeah. So, for example, this is a bad example because I actually support I actually kind of support the patching of this, but I'll bring this up first to kind of give you guys a timeline of like the first one that they really patched. But yeah, the canister dupe on I moved something across my monitor. But yeah, the canister dupe on Liberty. Basically what it was is if you had a charged ether canister and you went over to I think it's the SDG, right? The simultaneous dimensional gate. I'm pretty, yeah, not the LTG, the SDG. You would bring it in there into the church, and you would duplicate it by inserting it in and dropping it at pretty much the same time, and you could enter the second one inside and enter the boss fight immediately. Boom.
Yeah, that took
Easter
a
egg.
whole lot of time
Half
off.
the Easter egg is skipped because it's not a very long Easter egg.
Yeah.
So there's two sides of this that both of them have extreme merit, in my opinion, as to why that they patched it. Like, obviously at the time, I'm sure there's many of us, myself included, that when they patched it, we're like, what's even the motivation to run the map anymore? There is still a little bit of motivation because there's still actually a challenge of the map, which, you know, makes sense. And the map is still like, you can complete it quite fast. Believe it or not, you absolutely still can. I feel like it's probably more fun in co-op even so. But the two sides of this where it's a benefit, right? It benefits the players. First of all, you have to do it right. You have to do it right. Or maybe it's just one thing. Yeah, you have to do it right. Because if you just duplicate the canister and then you put the canister inside the machine, yeah, you could start the boss fight. You could kill the abomination HVTs at the very end, and you'd have no quote, you'd have no spawns, you'd be soft locked. And what people figured out the correct way to do is you would take the duplicated canister, and or I guess you wouldn't take the duplicated canister. You would leave the duplicated canister on the floor, and you would grab the LTG again, and you would start the other LTG, and you would just let it fail. You didn't even need to complete it. You just let it fail, and then it wouldn't soft lock when you put in the other canister. I remember when I was doing liberated carries with some of my friends early on. We tried that, and I was like, you gotta do it correctly or it's gonna soft lock. So from that perspective, because the bug could soft lock your game, if you just cut corners, you used your brain, like, wait, we just need to charge the STG. Why can't I just, okay, I've duped this, I'll just put in the other one. Boom, we just skipped half the Easter egg. It soft locks your game. So I think that Treyarch are fully in the right to patch that, because not everyone's gonna know that. And people might say that there's content out there to like teach that. Nowadays, obviously, it doesn't matter. I couldn't find anything out there that actually explained it. I had to learn it myself the hard way. It's not a very intuitive thing because, I mean, it's a skip for Christ's sake. It's an effing skip. But also, yeah, it's like it's a soft lock. It makes sense why they'd patch it. Small. Yeah, it just makes sense why they'd patch it.
I mean, the whole reason why they're making all these accommodations to pull people in who aren't normal zombie fans is because the zombie community is such a small group. And since it's such a small group, it doesn't really matter too much if only a percentage of them knows how to do these particular steps. And they weren't really harming the regular player. I could see how certain things could be this
first example in particular, it does technically harm the player. Everything that I'll get to in a minute kind of does.
Okay. Well,
so I'm sorry. There's a lot.
Yeah, go ahead.
My favorite map, Terminus, is next to discuss, and oh my god, Terminus.
Over Citadel, really?
Oh boy. Yeah,
Terminus
over Citadel.
Over Citadel?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. The way that the map has been treated, 100%. I just love it more than Citadel. But anyway,
I still really like Citadel.
So Terminus, the big skips that were heavily utilized in the speed run. For those of you that don't know, first, so I guess I'll go over as much as I can. So some of these are going to be big, some of these are going to be small. The first skip that you could do, this was just a feature, and then they patched it in, is a very small thing, but as soon as you gave the hard drive to Peck, you could just interact with the pod where Nathan is, and you could do the code after some dialogue. If you were playing as a dedicated crew member, it would extend the dialogue. You still wouldn't be able to interact with the keypad, so you wouldn't want to play as them, and then you could just go straight into the Nathan fight. What now happens is the dialogue from Peck or Strauss extends after that you've given the hard drive, and it blocks using the pod to reveal Nathan, which is kind of cringe, but that's a change that they made. I don't think that they're gonna fix that. The first major thing that actually, I think there were two things that were hit at the same time. Maybe it was one and then the other. I don't fully remember. But I'll explain one of the other. Batteries. So we're saying batteries. They're technically node connectors, but on solo, what you would do is you would grab one node connector. You would go to an island or wherever the spot was that you had to plug in the cable, and you would start building it. And then just a moment after you start building it, you would drop it. So like, let's say for example, you're on console, right? You'd hold your X button to interact with the cable. You'd start building it, and then at the beginning of it, you would drop it. Like you'd press the B button to drop the canister. But as long as you kept holding that X button, the progress bar would complete, the animation would still play, and you could look at your feet and you'd be like, wait, I'm building nothing because I've just dropped the canister. But you could still build it, and then you could grab the canister and bring it to the other one. And or the node connector, and that node dupe saved a lot of time on solo. Does this matter on co-op? Absolutely not. Which is why it's probably not that big of a deal that it's patched, and it probably is not going to be unpatched. But that was one of the things that players were like, "Why do this? This only harms the player." And there's literally nothing that it soft locks. So people were like, "This is so similar to Liberty. Why was it patched so later?" And
I know.
I guess internally, I'm telling myself, like, yeah, the Liberty one soft lock, this one didn't. Make sense why they prioritized Liberty over this one. But also, again, it comes back to that point. Who are you affecting with this negatively? It's really just the 1% of players that know about it, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah,
and
that's what bothers me about
something that was impressive in the notes we were talking about. The devs even literally mentioned that they nerfed fun, and it's like we're going back. We're removing these patches.
The team is always focused on making zombies fun and rewarding.
Yeah,
it's why we make video games.
Cool
W Treyarch, by the way.
Yeah, that is awesome to see them listening and that they actually took this into account. And we're like, we actually feel
listened to.
Like what we had here, and we're going to listen and do something about it and bring back the things that are fun. Because like the shock charge is technically a glitch that isn't supposed to happen.
Oh yeah, I didn't even get to the shock charge yet because that was a patch that came in later. But we still have to talk about that. But that's the high note. That's the high note. Yeah. So before we get to the shock charge, there was one other major skip, and I mean major skip, the biggest skip on Terminus. Was quote skip. What quote am I talking about? The dialogue that Peck, I think Strauss, and also Sam have after you go to the guard station and you wait to receive the hacker pack for the buoys.
Yeah.
They yap a really freaking long time. Like minutes of yap. It's kind of cringe. I still remember being in Freckleston's chat when he randomly discovered this quote skip. At the time, it was confusing whether it was a bug round that tricked it. I thought that it was a bug rounds. I think that they actually confirmed that it's a dialogue with Raptor 1, like the exfil dialogue.
Yeah.
But basically what it was is if you timed the start of the rounds in a specific timing, the exfil dialogue would overwrite the conversation that starts after you install the second node connector. And that dialogue would overwrite the other one and it would cancel it out. And because it's canceled out, you could go straight to the guard station and it would start the second chain of dialogue to get the hacker pad ready. And it's like,
I got you.
Wow, I've just saved like 2 minutes of dialogue. So yeah, that was the biggest skip on Terminus. Here's the funny thing. The AI voice actor thing. Oh, now we got to talk about this.
Yeah, that's a mess.
So
that's a whole mess.
There's a whole thing going on with SAG-AFTRA right now where there are members of that community, SAG-AFTRA, that are striking or were striking. I don't know which it is right now. Their work as voice actors, and somehow the voice actor for Samantha Maxis, Joy Nathanson, she got affected by this, and so Activision and Treyarch decided to replace all of her dialogue in the game. With this new voice actress, right?
Didn't
in my
we talk
opinion,
about that on the
it
last
sounds
podcast?
absolutely horrible. We might have.
I think we mentioned it, but
yeah.
keep going.
Yeah. I've talked about this exact thing before on the cast. I'm bringing it up anyway because it's important. This voice actor change, right? It's kind of cringe. Whether you like the new voice actor or not, that's not important. For the speedrun, what this meant is that because they added a new dialogue to that section, it unintentionally patched the quote skip.
Oh, yeah.
And everyone was like, bruh. I still remember watching like the beginning meme part of like one of Kingman's more recent speedruns on Citadel, where it's just a SpongeBob meme of Patrick and Squidward talking in his house, and Squidward's playing the clarinet, and then Patrick's just like making these noises of snoring, and he's like, ooh, and there's just text at the bottom of the screen like, we patched quote skip, by the way. It's like, bruh.
Rough, man. That's rough.
So that wasn't even intentional, right? I know some people might be like, yo, the changes that Treyarch have been making, they're focusing us. They're oppressing the speedrunning community. That one wasn't even like targeted. That was not intentional at all. There's no way it was. And then the last thing that was unfortunately affected recently from the January 3rd update was the boat lockdown skip, where players could throw a shock charge down at the trapdoor. It would shock a bug, and you could leave instantaneously. I'm really glad to see that they are reverting that change as of the January 9th update, and it makes sense why that they have the tech to make that an implemented feature and not like just unpatch a bug. I feel like from a gaming developer perspective, it'd be difficult to unpatch a bug and make it a feature. But that's already a thing on Citadel. For the for one of the lightning rods that you need for I think it's called Durandal, the lightning sword, if I remember. Durandal?
Yes.
I think so.
There is a shock box that's nearby spawn where the XM4 walleye is and Speed Cola, and like the door for the lion sword. There is a shock box sort of thing that you're supposed to shoot with a dead wire weapon. But the devs made it intentional. If you threw a shock charge at it, it would just do it for you. You didn't need to spend salvage on dead wire, and it's so nice. It still works to this day, and it would just pop out the lightning rod. So it's the same concept of tech. It's just used to skip the boat lockdown, and it's like, you guys have the ability to do this, and I'm so glad that that they're implementing this as soon as they like test it and figure it out, because. Yeah, originally it wasn't intentional, and then they made it a thing. I'm almost wondering if we hadn't discovered the boat lockdown, would the shock charge thing even be a feature on Citadel? It might have not.
No,
I'm actually curious. No. I'm really curious if they knew about this before they made the blog, which obviously confirms that like they know about it and they know about the speedrunning community. Because like it's kind of the same interaction. You're just throwing a shock charge on a thing, and it does a thing that it's supposed to do through normally other means, but in this case it makes sense because you're applying electrical damage to it.
Step 2, honestly.
Yeah.
Would be kind of sick.
Treyarch, you know what you should do? You should put a shock charge Easter egg on every map.
Well, maybe mix it up a little bit.
Give the non-prestige masters a reason to permanently unlock it. Even though, sadly, I remember when I was first getting into Terminus speedruns, and I did that, and I was like, this is such a waste, because then I learned about the stuffed animal side Easter egg, and you can get a guaranteed shock charge every game with that, so it was like kind of pointless. But that's just on Terminus.
I'm kind of curious, Carpal. This one's kind of directed to
Yes.
you, but I was curious, like, um, you don't do as much speed running from what I understand, not in general, but you just play the game kind of normally. Has like a lot of these patches and stuff that have gone on, have they affected you in like when you've been playing or anything you've
Um,
noticed?
I started off. I was dead set on going for the Nebula grind, and
Yeah.
I will admit I was doing the directed mode thing at first.
Yeah.
But once the holidays hit, I just kind of gave up entirely. I couldn't exactly tell you why though.
Okay.
No.
But the
Oh.
patches that they put in place to fix all these, like a lot of the speedrunner strats and stuff, did you ever use any of those or anything
I
in the
did not
past?
use them, but I've had to listen to several people who are in the
It's
community
just hearing people
complaining
rant
about it.
about it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Uh,
got you. Okay. Yeah, I was just kinda curious because I used a few of them. Like, I'm not a speedrunner myself, not not yet,
not
you
any
know?
Not yet.
Not
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 yet.
just
yet.
yet, but who knows, maybe one day. But
Come over to the
to
speed
the dark
tag.
side, is that what you're gonna say? Yeah.
I wasn't gonna say
I'll
that,
think
but I won't
about
lie.
it,
That
yeah.
was kind of in the back of my head. All right.
Yeah, my focus is all over the place, man. But I enjoy watching you guys run. Like watching you run like zombies in Spaceland has been honestly so fun. Just to see like all the different strategies and how fast your mind is just like going from one step to the next. I love that. Love seeing that kind of stuff, and it's just cool to see
Spaceland is
like
kind of a it's
how
kind of like
fast you can
a
do it.
bottleneck on that too because the SETI have timers on them, and especially on co-op,
Sometimes it's just
you
luck too.
gotta
Yeah.
like sometimes like this may not make sense, but sometimes on co-op, you gotta kill yourself pretty fucking fast, and you gotta come back like now, like
Yeah.
stat. If that makes no
You gotta
sense,
get
don't
good at
worry
those
about
games,
it. But
man.
that's speed tech. That's speed tech.
Yeah, Red
Get
Dead
at good
knows.
at those park games. Yeah. I mean, it's honestly so cool to see that. And although I'm not a speedrunner myself, I've used some of those glitches in the past, like the shock charge one. Anytime I do the Terminus Easter egg, I always do it. It's just
Sorry.
been
Not led. I
convenient.
completely misunderstood your question. Yeah, I use all those kinds of strats.
Oh, you have? Okay.
When
Okay.
the
Oh,
canister
oh,
dude was
okay,
still a thing. Yeah, but
How
I
did
don't
you
use
feel
okay. Yeah.
when they got patched originally? Like, what were your thoughts on that? Did it
um
make you just as aggravated, or
I think we talked about this last time, but
did we? Oh,
when
maybe we did.
when
I don't
Treyarch
remember.
does stuff like that, it feels like they're only targeting the speedrunners, right? Because
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
it's
A
not
lot of times.
actually
So we did have
affecting
an
casual
agreed
players.
sentiment on how we thought that
Yeah,
they
I believe
were
so.
treating the game for us before that they made this post on the 9th.
But
Yeah,
from what
absolutely.
I've heard and what you guys are saying, it seems they're getting a little more lenient on that.
Kind of.
They've
I mean, they're
made a
still doing
massive
a
step.
bit.
It's a single step, right? It's a single
Yeah,
step
it's
that they are
one, but
addressing. Like the
it's a
word
start.
speed run is in the blog post. Like
It is. Yep.
I've never felt more spoken to in my like I don't know
They've
3 or
never
4
done this
years
before,
on
man.
YouTube doing zombies
Never.
content and speedrun. I've never been spoken to before like this until
This
now.
is a first.
Never.
Yeah. This is what's
It is a
impressing
single
me. I
step,
mean,
so
it's a little late,
we do
but
have to be cautious. But
better late than never, you know?
every journey begins with a single step.
Yeah,
This
and yeah,
is step
they
1.
need to be listening to their communities. This is
To quote
something that
Origin, sorry.
people have been so impressed with. Like it, and I'll use this as an example, but the Sonic movie. The Sonic movie that was
Oh
coming out,
yeah.
they had this recreation of Sonic that just looked ugh. But they
Yeah.
listened to the audience. They heard they didn't
I
like it. They
remember
fixed it.
that.
And now they're 3 movies in with this newest movie, the Sonic versus Shadow movie coming
Sonic
out,
3.
and it
Yeah,
has
Sonic
the
3.
biggest box rating of all 3 movies. And yeah, and see, that's the importance of listening to your community.
Yeah.
If you alienate them,
Apparently,
it's gonna
all
be
the
unenjoyable.
like
And
Oscars people in that community, everybody fucking hates it, which goes to show
oh,
if
really?
you make a movie for the fans are the only
Yeah.
people going to love it, and that's how it
Yeah.
should be.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's how it
I mean, you're
should be.
targeting it
If you're
towards
making
them.
a
I
movie
mean,
and you want the plot to be an elevation, but also pay homage to the games, this is kind of how you do it, man. This is kind of
Yeah,
how you do it.
exactly.
Yeah, it's the same
Like
kind of
it's
mindset.
mirrored to
Yeah,
Sonic Adventure 2. It's mirrored. It's great.
it's the same kind of
Which I still
mindset
haven't
where
played because I'm trying to
this
100% the first game, and oh
Calm
my
down,
god, that's gonna
Wiz.
take
Calm
uh
me.
down.
That's gonna take me all year. But that's a whole
um
nother boat of can of worms.
Go ahead, careful.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's the same kind of mindset because this like wildly successful movie would not have happened if they wouldn't have listened to the fans. And
Yeah.
Right.
I think maybe Treyarch is realizing the same thing, where they
Yeah.
are sort of alienating some of their players that are coming in to try it out for the first time, and
Oh.
that's always nice to see.
Actually, I have a fun fact about this. I just learned about this recently. But
Yeah.
when Treyarch recently just when they brought Black Ops 6 out, they had a huge spike in new players on Steam. The percentages were high. Like they brought in, well, I guess for this particular game, since they lost so many, they had I can't even remember how many. They brought in like almost 45,000 new players over just
Oh
Steam
my gosh.
alone. And then when all of a sudden they started patching stuff, they started fixing all this stuff and changing how the game operated. People were getting so upset with Black Ops 6 that they lost all those new players. I was so astounded to find that out. And
Not
yeah, the
surprised, but
percentage just
yeah.
shot down. People went on to different games. I mean, a lot of the guys I saw posting zombie content on Instagram, they're now doing Marvel Rivals. They're posting videos of that
Dude,
instead,
Nade
and they
Shot
moved on.
is playing Marvel Rivals. The dude is one of the legends of the COD community. He's just on Marvel Rivals now, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my
Everybody moved on to
god.
something else, and that's
To be
sad.
fair,
You
I have
know,
not tried
it's
Marvel Rivals yet. I don't know if I
it
ever
looks really
will.
good.
Maybe
It
I
does
will.
look
I
good.
don't know.
It's like Overwatch but with Marvel characters, if that gives you
Yeah,
any sense of
if
gameplay.
I really want to play a multiplayer game like that, one day, Halo, I'll come back to you.
Hey, get into
One
speed.
day.
Well, you can't really speed run that, but
You can. You can. The campaign.
I
You
mean,
absolutely can. You absolutely can. The
well,
campaigns are
then what are you
100%
waiting for,
speedrunnable.
my dude? Get in there.
What I'm waiting for is yeah. Zombies speedruns are more fun for me. IMO.
Well, I'm huge about zombies, man. Anything zombies is what I'm about.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, I've just been excited for. There's actually been some zombie games that have been hinted at. I follow a guy that talks about new games that are coming out, and there's a lot of zombie related stuff, which I'm so happy to see that. And I really want the genre to take off more because I feel like there's so many different ways you can go. I love Call of Duty's format though the most, I think, just because they have the mystery aspect in it, and that's why I wanted to keep coming back in their games.
Especially the
'Cause,
older
like,
games on that front. But yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah,
100%
Yeah.
agree.
exactly.
There are so many different interpretations of zombies. But as
Yeah.
we, as the community, have learned recently, we have standards. And
We do.
yeah, there
Oh,
there
hey,
are
actually,
easily ways to do it wrong. There's ways to do it
absolutely.
right.
You've kind of reminded me something I wanted to kind of bring up to you guys. As like it was an interesting thought I was thinking about, but um, what if Call of Duty had, which I know this is hard because you need the community to test out the game and figure out the bugs and everything. But what if, say, like they had tested the game so fully, they fixed all these bugs, like even did all these patches that we are disliking and stuff. They had done it all before the game was ever released, and it got released to us as an unbuggy, unpatched game. I was thinking like we would have had nothing to complain about, especially like speedrunning, because none of those glitches would have ever existed. And that is crazy for me to think about, just being that, like, although we get so upset about this stuff that
It's
gets
crazy that you
fixed,
mentioned
the
that
game
when
was
I've
never
literally
intended that way,
seen
you know? It's
I've no, no, honestly, I've literally seen people
thank
on
you.
Twitter just come out of the blue,
Mhm.
like before BO6 launched on Twitter. They have literally said, "I can finally say this, but I've been playtesting Black Ops 6 for 2 years." So hearing you say this right now
Yeah.
is like a punch in the gut. But it's also a praise because
mean,
the
that is
speedrunning
true,
community is
though,
goats for
yes.
finding this stuff, and Treyarch sucks for not finding it ahead of time. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's not so much a dig at them. I have
2
I
years,
have a
by
lot
the
of
way. 2
respect
years.
for
Okay,
them for
okay.
all
I'll
of
stop.
it.
I'll stop
Yeah.
being the dead horse.
No, I get what you're saying. It's just no, it's more like just the thought. Like nowadays, with all their games, the games get released before they're even completed. Like there's still a lot of stuff that needs to be
Yes, I
finished.
100%
There's, like,
agree.
they're in
I 100%
pre-alpha or
agree.
whatever and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And it's like there was a time back in the day when you could buy a game and it was all there. Like
It
you
was
had everything. That was the
finished.
finished result.
It was the
you know?
finished product.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like to me just thinking about that and it's like what if Call of Duty
And
had
just to
released the
be
game
clear, I
without
don't think we're talking
any
about
bugs
like
whatsoever, you know?
DLCs,
It's
as
just
in like, oh, all the
not really,
content's
no,
not in the
no,
game.
no,
No, we're
no,
talking
no.
about stability. We're talking about fundamental
Yeah.
bugs, gameplay,
exactly.
UI systems.
Everything is
They
there.
changed the
Everything.
UI in BO6 again. The little box
yeah.
for the kill streak thing on your HUD, it covers where your ammo mod icon is. Like, who thought
Yeah,
that was a good idea? Just don't put the box
Not quite.
there.
There's also a
Unless
little
I have a
square
kill
with
streak.
a circle in it. Do you guys know what that's for?
Yeah, the dark box with a white circle in it at the bottom right of your
Yeah.
HUD, just to the left of your ammo gun. That's the slot
that's-
for your kill streak.
That is okay. See,
It
nothing
always
ever
covered
showed up in
the
it.
damage mod that you have on your weapon. It always did
Yeah.
that. But now you can see it through the spot when you don't have a kill streak because you know there's a spot like
Yeah. Okay.
less is more. That's what I need to say. Yeah, less is
Mine
more.
showed
And
up
they added that
next
for
to
no
it.
reason.
I didn't get.
I better be able to turn that off in the HUD
setting.
settings.
Okay, well that's good. That is another thing too. Something that has kind of upset me a bit is the HUD. Although I love they added the ability to change it in certain ways, there are some things I wish I could change more. Like
Have more
I
control
love
over, yeah.
redacted. Like I like that I can have everything taken off my screen, but unfortunately there are some things that you just need to see. Like if you're going up to a barrier, you need to see how much you need to spend and how much you have. I would just love like a customizing feature where
So-
it's not like they have already pre-made HUDs. You could just design it the way you want. I'd like that. Like that would be
If you
super cool.
want something specific out of redacted mode, I can understand that. But it's crazy you mentioned that because I've actually seen people make challenge videos. I forget what the challenge is called, but it's literally you do the Easter egg or you do something on the map redacted. Like you don't have a HUD throughout the entire
okay. I
experience.
could see
Like
that,
people
yeah.
have done that. People have done those challenges. They have.
That would
I
be
think
cool.
Milo's done one of them actually. Yeah, I think Milo's done
Yeah.
one of them.
I've tried playing
It's called a
without it,
raw
it's
dog
just-
challenge, right? Let me Google that real
Oh,
quick.
no,
Actually,
no.
I think that's what it's called.
No.
That
Let's
sounds
not
like-
go
that
there.
Sounds like a challenge Milo would propagate.
Sounds like other things we
Uh,
shouldn't be talking about.
I've
I'm just
heard I've
saying.
heard it been called that. Am I
Ugh.
thinking of the
Hey,
wrong
if-
thing?
if
Stop,
he said
stop,
it Sokenway, if he
Wait,
said it Sokenway.
hold on.
Bail, man.
Wait, hold on. Am I
No, don't look it up.
am I
Don't
saying
Google search
well, now I'm
this.
going to now I want to find his video because he did one of these before.
Oh, you're gonna find a video, all right. It's just not what you want, man.
It might just be called something different. That's all.
I hope so, because that's gonna lead to some other stuff, man. I'm just saying.
Citadel Day more Easter egg raw dog challenge.
Oh, oof.
I'm not wrong.
That YouTube's gonna be flagging that video very soon.
It's yeah, no perks, no HUD, no comms, just pain. That's what it is. That's what it is.
Isn't
I'm not
that just-
capping.
Is
He's
that
what
actually
it
done one of
means,
these
man?
challenges.
Isn't
Oh,
that just
man.
double feature mode from Descent on Exo Zombies? Isn't that like exactly what that is?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't speak
Black and
Exo
white,
Zombies.
I'm not there, but man, I remember Exo Zombies.
It's basically the no HUD challenge. That's basically what it is.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
basically what it is. But
Yeah. I mean, I've liked playing without anything on my HUD, but there's still some stuff that still shows up, like your objective point will not get off the screen. I don't like that.
that
and
that
then-
should not be there. I fully agree with that. That should not
And
be there, but I know why it's not there because it's not like hard coded into the game on the HUD. It's just not.
Yeah. For me, all I
Which
want is
sucks.
just my points, my bullets and stuff like that. And then my health bar. That's really it. That's all I want. I don't really need the mini map. I don't need your objective up in the
Yeah,
corner. I don't
depending
need
on what zombies game that you're
round
playing, I would say
counters.
a health
Nothing.
bar is necessary. Modern Zombies definitely needs one, and that's because of the way that the hit system's designed, the
Yeah.
strength of the zombies, the speed of the zombies, interaction with armor. You just need a health bar,
Yeah.
unfortunately for that. So.
And health bars on zombies, I mean, for bosses, I like it. Not so much just regular zombies like that. I don't care about as much. And for some reason, I don't like how the health bar works on this particular game as much because they have a little animation where it shows the health bar shrinking off into oblivion above the zombies when they're hit. And it can be a little disconcerting for me because if I'm in a sketchy moment where I'm trying to take zombies out really fast, and I see like still a sliver of health on their health bar for a second, that split second I think they're still alive, but it just turns out it's just the animation of the bar going all the way to zero, and I don't know, I don't like it. It's not a big issue, but it's just something that's bugged me ever since the beginning of the game. I don't know if anybody else felt that way, but um, I just like instantly
Um.
seeing the health bar go to zero just as soon
Yeah,
as you hit them.
I
I don't know.
don't.
That's
I
just
don't
me though.
really know. It's
As I
kind
say,
of
it might
weird
not be an issue
because
for everybody.
this
Just
is a
me.
thing that's sort of been here since Cold War, and that was 4 years ago, so I might be forgetting it.
Not
I didn't
like
play
that
Cold War
though.
that
Their health
much.
bars were accurate. Like as soon as you hit them, that
Oh,
segment was gone. But in
you're
Black Ops
talking
6, it's
about the
got a little
unique animation
animation.
style of the health bars in Black Ops
Yeah.
6.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That
It just bugs me
um
slightly. It just throws
Yeah,
me off in so
if
many
I was
moments.
able to apply more of feedback on this from that question, I would, but
No, it's
now
not a
now that
question, it's just a
dude,
general
I have a new
statement.
perspective now that I'm talking to you, and I just wasn't
Now
thinking
you're
like
gonna
that
just
before.
notice it. I came
Now,
across
yeah,
this
now I'm just gonna
funny
notice it. How dare you?
I had
How dare
this
you?
funny video show up on my feed on Instagram one time. I was paging through it, and this guy was talking like he was a comedian that I've seen in many movies, but he was saying like, did you know that when you're like taking a shower, you gotta wash under your armpits like what was it, like 7 times in order for it to be clean? It was like I didn't know this before, but now every time you're in the shower and you're cleaning up and you go to wash your armpits, you're going to be thinking of me because you're going to remember that fact. And it's so true. I was remembering it every time. But it's like that's so I would have never even thought about it if it wasn't for that. And I was just thinking like now that I mentioned this to you, you're never going to not notice it.
Okay, that was a
Just
weird tangent, but
was it? I thought
I'll
it made
try to
complete
think
sense
about
in my
you
head. I'm
next
sorry.
time I look at a zombie again.
There you go. Yeah, every time you see the health bar, you're gonna think back to
No,
me in
not
this
even just
exact
a health
moment.
bar, just a zombie.
I'm just gonna look
A
at a health
zombie.
bar. Not just zombies in any game. I'm gonna see a health bar, just be like,
Oh.
Notlad would fucking hate
Not.
this.
Your audio just shot up. Wow.
I
There you go.
apologize.
He sounds good. What do you mean?
Well, it just got
For me,
louder. I
it
have to
sounds fine.
readjust. He's much louder
Yeah.
than you are
Oh,
right
you
now.
have to readjust. He did
Just gonna
mention
turn
in
it down a little
the
bit.
group chat that he fixed his audio, and
I
I was like
did.
internally jumping for
did.
joy.
I completely forgot. I
Okay.
should have been adjusting this earlier too, but it'll be fine.
Shame.
But you should be good now. But yeah, just small things like that is just kind of I've been noticing some small things just bug me like that, and although they're really small details, sometimes they can mean life or death for you. Which I've been in some moments where I panicked because I thought I didn't take something out that was maybe cornering me or getting me in a really sketchy predicament. And I turn around real quick to like shoot him again, and that ends up getting me in an even worse situation and stuff like that. It's a split second thing, but sometimes that's all it takes. So it's just something I've been a little bugged with since day one of Black Ops 6 being released, but I just wanted to mention it. I wasn't sure if you guys noticed it as much. Maybe you'll notice it more now, but it's just
I'm
something
gonna
that
think of it.
bugs me.
I'm digging deep. I think there's something there, but it's not concrete enough.
It's not a huge issue.
It's a
though.
perspective
It's not
kind of
something
thing.
I'd really
It's a
say they'd
perspective
have
kind
to
of thing.
change, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is crazy. But all in all, although a lot of the communities left Black Ops 6 and stuff, and people have gone on to new things, I still appreciate how they kind of bring in like new events. Like although, and we do have to talk
Yeah,
about this one too. Although
yeah, we
Squid
should talk
Games
about
has
it.
come into
I
frame,
definitely
people have
like the
liked it,
fact
but
that they are making LTMs. Some of
yeah,
them are just straight dog shit. I'm
yeah.
perfectly okay with admitting that after trying them, but
Oh
I'm
yeah,
glad that
some
they are
things just
trying.
don't hit the mark, you know?
I am glad that they are trying. I'm very
Yeah,
glad that they are
I
trying.
appreciate trying to bring stuff in to keep the players engaged.
Yeah,
Like, and
keep the player
I know
retention.
apparently our opinions are very different on this, but I actually really like the Squid Games version for
Yeah, they are night
zombies.
and day.
The
Opinions are night and
Death
day on this.
Dead Night Green Light that or
Dead
no,
light, green light,
Dead
yeah.
Light Green Light, sorry.
Yeah.
I actually really like the mode. The only problem I have with it is that it had a round cap on it, which is something that the Treyarch also addressed, which they saw that people didn't like that. So they
Right.
extended it to round 20 and still don't allow you to do the Easter egg yet, which is not quite what we wanted, but it is an improvement. They say they're going to continue to fix it as we go to extend the round cap even further, if people really want that. But I like it. I like it with Deadlight, Green Light. I personally find it to be a very fun challenge, and just to add to the original difficulty of the game, I really like that. I just would have liked to been able to do the Easter egg and go for higher rounds. Would have been nice. But I like that mode. I guess
It
in
just
multiplayer is different though.
part of the reason why that sucks is you're pace locked to round 10 at minimum.
Yeah, see, yeah,
Or
that's the
or
biggest.
even
Well, now
later
it's round
because
20.
the
Now it is
stamps.
round 20, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's
But like to do the
I
Easter egg, you
agree.
have to reach round 10. So
Yeah. Well, it's an instant exfil at round 10, so that's unfortunate. You don't have
it's now on
chances to
round
do
20,
much of
but
anything.
yeah.
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 So I would like that to be completely taken away. If they just let it be open to like do the Easter egg or go as high of round as you want, but it has this extra difficulty added to it. I love that. That's so cool. But I feel like Treyarch's really been trying to hit hard at getting new players that are not a part of zombies into the frame so much that they're really alienating
They are
their
starting to alienate
actual
their hardcore fans, yeah.
community, you know?
Yep.
So
They're
yeah,
trying to pull
although
a
I
Fortnite when they're not a
understand.
Fortnite, and that like
Yeah,
that sentiment has been seen so much on Twitter lately because of all the advertisements that they've been sending out about bundles. I still remember people just being like, "Dude, you're taking the piss. You're just so tone deaf to like, why would people spend money on your game like this when it doesn't function, right?" And to
yeah,
be fair, I am mostly talking about virtually every other corner of COD than zombies. We have it good right now.
corner.
We have it good. Like, MP and Warzone is in the shit right now, and that's mainly because of stuff going on between Treyarch and Raven Software. Zombies, albeit not perfect, is probably the most stable game mode to play right now, other
Yeah,
than maybe the
yeah, I think
campaign.
so.
Yeah.
I haven't played it
So
yet,
we have it
so
good.
I'm actually genuinely curious. But I've seen a lot of scenes of how like they're involving zombies in the campaign, which is really making me want
Yeah.
to actually try it for the first time.
I
So
am thinking the same. I might try it myself.
yeah, I want to see what that's about. But I also have to ask, have you guys bought any like character skins? And this question goes out to the both of you guys. Have you
No.
guys dived into that at all? Have they sucked you in with anything that looked cool?
No,
I think there
not.
was one.
Was there one?
Oh,
The one
Now you're
Weaver
quiet.
skin
there. I
that
don't know, man. I can't.
You're
yeah,
super
that
quiet.
the wait, what?
Turn you up.
Me or Carpal?
Carpal got super
Oh,
quiet from being super loud to just super quiet.
he's fine for
Man,
me.
Oh, now you're better. Okay.
what?
What?
Now
What?
he's loud.
Maybe it's from
He's
your
very
end, not
loud
loud,
now.
because he
What?
sounds fine for me.
Okay, wait. What about now? What about now?
You sound fine.
Okay, you're about in the middle. I'm just
I'm
adjusting you
about in the
slightly,
middle.
but
What?
Okay, what about now? What about now?
Okay.
now you're
Okay,
good.
dude. Okay,
You're
dude.
perfect.
Is it
Perfect.
going like
Don't
back
do
and forth?
anything. Whatever you do, don't touch nothing.
No, is it going like back and forth? Just curious.
Yeah, you got really quiet. You were super loud just a moment ago, and then you were like really quiet. But you sounded the same. It
Okay,
wasn't
what
like
about
your
now?
microphone
How's it
distorted.
sound now?
A little louder, just a tiny bit louder, if anything.
Okay, I think
Now
okay.
you're
I think we're
normal.
good.
I think I'll just adjust accordingly, I guess.
Yeah, you gotta keep up.
Yeah, I have been doing my best. But sorry, you were talking about the skin you purchased, Swiss, or that you were
Yes.
tempted to buy. Yeah.
The only skin that I have purchased, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. And I'm not talking
Yeah,
about
yeah,
like
it's the only one.
the premium version of the game, like the
Right,
premium
yeah, no, the only one that
skins or
I've
anything. No.
gotten is from the bundle that had that Mastercraft Gobblegum perk thing for the XM4. That's
Oh
the
yeah,
only
I
one
did
that I
know that
got.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
that's the
Okay.
only one that I got.
How about you, Carpal? Have you dived into anything?
No, no, no.
No. Okay.
I
You're
uh
probably the
I
strongest out of the both of us.
I spent too much. I didn't even spend that much on Cold War, but like the amount that I did, I almost felt like I was robbing myself of that. Because I think the one pack I bought was like $20, and all it was just cosmetics. I don't think
Cosmetics.
I don't think I'm ever doing that again.
Yeah, see, I admit I've always complained about like buying skins and how I don't like that they've turned it into Fortnite and kind of like that where you have to buy
Yeah.
stuff like your skins or weapons, which
All of
kind
the
of
the
makes it
the
like a
sum
pay to
of
win
all of
because they're better.
these big
But
bundles now are like over $90. It's like
yeah, they're not
it's like
$90. Whoa,
just do
what are you
yourself a
buying?
favor and don't buy them. Just don't
Yeah.
buy them.
They're pricey, man. And like COD points, you don't get that many COD points if you buy anything. And I did buy a skin. I got the vampire one, which is really the only one I've wanted so far, and I'm actually really happy I have it. So it made me feel really
So
lousy for
so you
my
hear that,
complaints about it
Carpal?
earlier.
You get
So
one
yeah,
freebie, or you get one skin. You gotta buy
Yay.
one skin if you want to. If you don't want to buy a skin, that's even better, right? But if something does strike your fancy, you get one skin purchase throughout the life cycle of BO6, or else we'll shun you.
I will
We'll
I
shun
find
you
a
if
would.
you buy more
staple.
than one.
I
Yeah,
have a Cold War staple. I'll probably get a BO6 staple.
Okay.
Probably end up the same way.
I mean, but the thing I was
I just
curious
don't
though
want you
is
to
like,
invest money on the game that you don't enjoy as much. I don't think you enjoy Cold War that much, right?
Um, I will say that I do like BO6 better so far.
Okay.
That's
but would you say that you have like buying a skin or something like that has made the experience better? Like, do you like you say if you're really into Black Ops 6 and then you ended up just diving into getting a skin, do you feel crummy afterwards or do you feel like this was worth it? Like, I'm
I
glad they
feel like
had
I
this in the
wasted my
game.
money on that Mastercraft bundle because first of
I
all, the XM4 thing was like kind of buggy at first, and I was like,
oh,
well,
was
when
it?
they finally fix this, maybe it'll be cool. And then the
Mine
Krig
was a
became
little
the
buggy too,
meta, and I was
actually.
like, well, I'm never using the XM4 again because the Krig exists. And then I
Mhm.
was like, well, the skin for Weaver is great, but the Weaver quotes in this game suck, so I can't play Weaver anymore. So yeah,
Yeah.
I I admit it. I made a very bad purchase.
Well,
I made a very
I
bad purchase.
I'm a little part impartial on it. As like I at the same time don't regret that I got my skin because I really like the one I have, and I'm personally I find it to be the coolest one out of all of them. But at the same time, yeah, I do agree. I've always been against the whole like buying skins and stuff like that or paying more money to get more things. It's like I like the idea of when you buy a game, you got the finished result, you get everything. Um but recently, and especially being that they have like new events, new skins coming out, they do intrigue me. And it makes me wonder like, have I just been angry about this for no reason? Is it like maybe there is something to this system that they're doing. I know it does
I'll
hook a
tell
lot
you
of
what it
people in,
is.
but it's
It's
just
their business strategy. There's no
I
cloak and
know.
dagger going on. That's just their business strategy. That's part of how they make money. It's a
Dude, I want to hate
business.
it, but sometimes
I
something
don't
comes up
blame
that
you
I
if you
just
want
like.
to. It's not
Ugh,
it's
I
not a
don't know.
thing
I just
where it's about the consumer's perspective. It's not about
yeah.
whether or not that this is something that should or shouldn't be used to make money in it. It's literally if the consumer wants it, then someone's gonna supply it. It's if there's demand,
Yeah.
then it capitalism. That's just how it goes.
I know. I hate myself that I actually am tempted by it because it is something that I never wanted in the game. Like when I look back on zombies, it never had that. Like that's not zombies to me, or Call of Duty zombies at least. Like they don't have this extra you buy extra stuff like Fortnite and things like that. It's just to me
Right.
that it
you
changes the
you
game, the way
earn
I look at
like
the game and
like
everything,
I know this might be a bad example because of the loot box system, but technically nowadays there are ways to get around the monetization of the loot box system of IW, but the
Yeah.
skins in IW, and by skins I mean the special guests in each of the maps that
Yeah.
actually had significance, not just
Dude,
from
I love
story
that. That's
but
actually
also
really good.
gameplay on each of
Yeah.
the maps.